everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's tutorial is going to be based on how to cut a line gown with a butterfly sleeve using 4 yards of this Ankara fabric. So by folding this into 4, this is into 2, as you can see, into 2. So I'm going to fold this into 4 now. Ankara fabric is by 45 and this is 45 inches, as you can see. So I'm not going to use this inches, this length, because it's not up to the length I'm going to using, because the length I'm dealing with here will be 58. So since this is not up to 58, it's 45 inches for Ankara, so I'm using this. After folding it into 2, like, no, it's 4 yards. Like, this is 2 yards, 2 yards there and 2 yards here also. So after that, then I'm going to fold it into 4 like this. So using I'm not using the length of the Ankara, so I'm using the wideness for my length now. So folding it like this now, I can get my actual length from this folding. This is into 2 and this is into 4. You can see this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be 2 yards of Ankara and the other one 2 yards of Ankara, making 4 yards like that. You can't use 3 yards for this. You can only use 4 yards for Ankara. But as long as the material, you can, material is by 60 inches, so you can use any yard of material to cut this. So after this, I'm going to start with my length. So the length here, I'm using 58 for the length. This is 58 here. So with the sewing allowance, I'm going to use 59 and a half. So if you place your tape from the center of the back to center of the back at the neck side, the length of the sleeve here will be 21 and a half. The length of the sleeve will be 21 and a half when you measure from the back, from the middle of the back, and the neck side will be 21 and a half. So after 21 and a half, after that, it will be the sleeve length. My sleeve length here, I'm using 36 for the longness of the sleeve. 36. So with the folding and everything, I'm using 37 for the same allowance, like this. 37. So then from here, I'm going to determine the half length, which I'm using 15 and a half. The half length 15 and a half. Then the armhole side, is a bubu, so it won't be a normal armhole. So I'm using 9 and a half. 9 and a half. So the hip side, I'm using 24 for the hips. As to determine where the hips is going to be, it's 24. Yes. So if you don't want to determine the hips directly from here, like from the shoulder to 24, you can determine it one by one. Like, you can place your table from the shoulder to the half length. So after the half length, you now place your table again, you measure 9 inches. You will see, you can see it's the same thing. So that's the 2 ways you can use to determine your hips. So after that, the bust here, I'm using 48 for my bust here. 48 for the bust. with the sewing allowance, so it's 48. So the waist here, the waist here too, I'm using 46, 46 for the waist here. So after that, the hips, the hips here, I'm using 50. 12 into 4 is 50, the sewing allowance. So the next thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to start from this particular place that I notch, that the sleeve is going to start from. So I'll sketch it down here to know the actual place. So from here, starting from where the tail is going to start from here, so we are going to make, so from here that I notched, ignore all this line, ignore it. So from here that I notch for the bust, for the waist, and for the hips. So from this particular line, I measure 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. Here too, I'll measure 1.5 inches. Here too, I'll measure 1.5 inches. You can see. So from this one, the 1.5 inches that I measure, I'm going to make a straight line from this 36, the length of the sleeve, to this particular place, as well. Then I will stop here. This is my 1.5 inches along that I put. So I'm going to stop here. Then from here, I'm going to make a cuff. This is my cuff, my cuff, my cuff, then to the main length. So I'll show you. Let me cut it out to show it to you. So I'll now start with the cutting. Then like this. Then down to the main length here. This is why I tipped. So the seam allowance. Yes. So I'm done with the cutting now. Then I'll now move to the neck cutting. So don't forget, like I said earlier, this is where I notched for where my sleeve is going to be. So I'm going to trim it down. Then trimming the neck. So I'm going to measure the wideness of the neck first. The wideness I'm using 4, probably 3.5. Let me use 3.5. The wideness I'm using 3.5 for the wideness. Then the deepness I'm using 4. And I'm covering it. And I'll not cut it out. This is how it's going to be. You can see the sleeve. Then I'm going to cut this space into 2 for joining. So you can see this is how it's going to be. After if you want to join it, you join the shoulder first. You stitch all this edge here, then you close this, then join it like this, then you stitch the down part too, then you turn the neck. You can see it. This is how it's going to be after when you've stitch is finished. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share. Bye.